E-paperless offices benefit duly, both to your customer and to the store itself. And we provide a login for both the customer and for the store itself. I'm going to go through the administration login first. And you will be given or assigned a store ID and a unique password. And by the way, we offer 2 passwords. Many customers allow their counter personnel access in a limited password mode, so they can answer a lot of questions before they ever get to the AR department. Again, saving a lot of time. As you notice on the admin screen, there's a lot of things that we can do. We can recall any customer. If you're a multi-store, you'll only have one single login. We chain all the stores together, so that customer number, no matter what store he's in, will come up. Invoice number, no matter what in your organization, you can recall an invoice number. We have many customers who scan their invoices because they want to get signed copies online. There's multiple ways of doing that. Scanning is one of them. And basically you can recall all the scanned invoices for a period of time for a customer, or as listed below, flag customers. If I have 6 customers that want all their invoices for the month, I could print them all at one time. Also, with scanning, we can give you a list of whatever invoices are missing scans so that you could double check that you got every signed invoice that you're supposed to have. You can create an invoice summary by a date range. I want to see what I did this week, and it's in the middle of the month. I can do that. Statements report. The statement report just basically tells you how many statements has been created for your customers that month. Basically, the same amount of statements that you would print and mail out. E-paperless office usage. We had a customer one time that says, how do I know they got the email? Well, you can't tell somebody if they got snail mail either, but we can at least tell you if they've logged in, looked at invoices, we're tracking everything. It's also a pretty good indicator that you're giving a service to customers that customers are actually using. There's a host of miscellaneous options that are available. You can send an email blast to all your customers. You can do marketing. You can announce holiday hours. Just a multitude of things that you could do by email that is all free. Miscellaneous functions. You could set up a unique statement message so that every time they do go into a statement, you could thank them for your business, tell them where to direct any billing inquiries, holiday messages. You can change them at will and have a new message every month. You could set up a unique statement email message attached as your statement, or you can click here and go right to the site and view anything you want. Basically, you're creating a unique message for both statements, invoices, and customer email tab here is just so that you can import and export all your email addresses quite quickly. You could change customer numbers, and you could delete customer data. And to reiterate about the limited password, we eliminate a lot of these things from the limited password so that counter personnel can't make any changes or delete any data, that type of thing. I'm going to demonstrate how to get a customer up. And basically, if I know the customer number, obviously I could type in the customer number. If I know any part of his name, I'm going to just type any part of his name. I typed in Rambo. I'm looking for J. Rambo Company. I select that customer, click on the select button, and it will expose all the current invoices for the current month. Okay. It defaults to the top 10 invoices. Obviously, if there's more invoices, I can pick how many I want to see at one time or just select all. Every invoice number becomes a link. So it's a hyperlink that I could just click on. And when I click on it, I can see the original invoice. Very quickly, I can print it, download it as I please. This is a customer who actually scans the signed copy. We provide them with a program that reads a barcode on the invoice and attaches the scanned copy directly to the correct invoice, so all their signed copies are saved and online. It gives you the data that's on that invoice. I can actually click on this part number, and it will show me every invoice that was ever on, that part number was billed. Now, this is searched through a 70 store base that does virtually $25 million worth of volume a year. So as long as it took me to log in, it found all those invoices pretty quick. Okay. Statement page. If I click on the statement, it's going to expose this current statement. You'll see that there's a drop-down box so that every statement that we've created for them since they've been on the system is being stored electronically. This is your electronic file cabinet for you to you can reconcile any statement for any month, any year since you've been on the system. If you want to email that statement as a PDF, you can email it just by the click of a button here. If I actually want to view what the actual statement looks like, and many customers like to do this, it'll just pop it up. Okay. Now, when you're in the statement, and I'm going to go through the reconciled checkbox when I get to the customer portion of this. Again, every invoice number does have is a hyperlink that's associated with it. I can click on it. It takes me right to that invoice. I could look at the scanned copy. And as I mentioned before, there's multiple ways to get signatures online. If you have a signature capture device with your credit card machine, we actually capture that signature on charge invoices. If you're using our delivery management program, it captures it on the delivery. So in either case, there's 3 different ways to get signatures up, and none of them are difficult. Okay. If I click on my balance tab here, it will give me a complete aging for this customer. If I click on my payments tab, it's going to show me the current month's payment and any other payments that I want to look at. So if I want to see last month, it'll bring it up. If I want to see last year's and any month last year, I can look very, very quickly. The e-delivery tracking, as I mentioned, is for seeing how many deliveries you had, when they were started, who the driver that took it was, what time you got your items. If you set up, in the setup portion here, if you set up an email address in either the statement email or the invoice email, the minute an invoice is created, it will send it. You also have the option of choosing whether you want an original invoice emailed or a scanned copy or both even. You can have multiple addresses as well. So for those customers who sometimes don't always turn in an invoice, I'm going to email the accounts payable department of my customer a copy of that invoice immediately. Now, that is the admin screen. I'm going to log off of here, and on the admin screen at the bottom, there's a customer login screen as well. When I click that, obviously there's different information that's needed. The store ID, the customer number, and a password that's set up in the system. Once that customer is logged in once as a customer, his cookies will save this information at the bottom so that the next time all he's got to do is click on login. Now, we mentioned that this was dual purpose. For the customer, he's not going to have an admin option screen. He's going to have invoice recall, and all the other functionality for statements, balances, payments is all right here. Here's a customer with e-delivery. It's going to basically pull up all his deliveries for either 7 days, 30 days, 365 days. They can click on invoices. They can see what they've gotten delivered. They still got some deliveries on the way today. I'm going to go back to invoice. And when I choose all, one of the most important things with a customer, and a huge benefit, is that when customers see credits right away, they're very, very impressed, and it just builds their confidence in the store. So every credit is the minute it's created, it's on the sheet, and they'll see it. We can even add an image. So if you've got customers that like to leave a drop-off slip of what they've picked up, you can add that image right to this. And basically you can have proof of what was picked up by the driver. Okay? Many customers basically wait till the end of the month or the next time they have a delivery to send copies of credits. When they see them immediately, many times and oftentimes it's resulted in more volume from that customer because that confidence is so well built. Let's look at statements here. Now here's where a customer can actually reconcile his statement online. The old way of doing things is you had a stack of invoices, you had your statement, you checked them off, found it on the statement. When you were done, you stapled that list of invoices to the statement. If they filed it into a file cabinet, when the file cabinet got filled up, you put it in a box, and when the box got filled up, it went to the attic or the basement. This is your electronic basement, your electronic attic, your electronic file cabinet. You can basically get that invoice. I've got this one. I've got this one. I've got this one. Wait a minute. I don't have this one. And go right to the invoice number and look at the original invoice and look at everything about it. This is a customer who's using a different format invoice. Whatever format you're using, that's what we actually send up. Okay. Back to the statement. We're adding, matter of fact, it is added already to where the customer can pay online with either an electronic check or a credit card. You have the option to pick either or both. If you have big customers that are paying you by check every month and it's a huge amount, and you don't want to have to be subjected to credit card fees, you set them up with ACH. It's about a 10 cent or 20 cent per transaction billing or charging, and you get paid right away, and we send you an email that this customer paid. If he's open item, we'll send you a list of the invoices he paid. Okay? Customer can add his own email addresses in if he wants. All he's got to do is click on his setup and go right to it. We do have documentation on here to where there'll be some training videos. The ones that are on there are from our old screens. It still gives you an idea of how it works. They're going to all be updated very shortly. Back to invoice recall. If that customer logs off, he can quickly log back in anytime he wants. That basically concludes what I wanted to show.